I should probably do the same thing like we did, put it down, not on the battleship. So do it more on the floor. Yeah. That's it. Hi, everybody. Hi, all mummies, daddies, and babies. If you, we're gonna get going in a couple of minutes. If you are on your phone and able to, you want to just let us know how old your baby is and tell us your baby's name. I don't have any babies left at home. I only have a 4, almost 5-year-old and a 7, almost 8-year-old. My 4, almost 5-year-old might be my baby model. We're not sure. Otherwise, I have this guy who will be our baby. I hope everybody is doing okie dokie in this new normal. We are live on Instagram. We are live on YouTube. Thank you to everybody for tuning in. I'm sorry if you can't see me. So today what you're going to need is a baby. You should all have one of those, and a bunch of toys or things that I refer to as bait. Are my headphones working? Are we in? Yeah, the mic's working. All right. For everybody on Instagram, if you can take a second and just let us know how old your baby is. Today's class is really for babies that are starting to move or are moving at different kind of stages. So some stuff is going to be really applicable to all the babies. Some is applicable to some of the babies. And I just want to give you guys a bunch of things that you can do with them at different times throughout the day or during kind of mini sessions to help nurture where the babies are at the different stages of development. So without any further ado, hold on one sec. My technical Leo's 8 months. Awesome. I know Shira Caitlin's baby. I've met her before. Okay. So we are going to get going. Some of you who have done my class before kind of know how I work. Not everything that we're going to do, the babies are going to do. Some of it is like planting seeds for later. But all of it is good, and all of it is going to help with the bonding and development. And that's really the two most important things right now at this stage of you and the baby's life. So we're going to do a little bit of warm up. We're going to do a kind of dance party warm up. So mums, dads, you guys are going to get into it. We're going to put on one of my favorite dance songs and get everybody kind of. Oh, amazing, Logan. Great. There's lots of cool things that you'll be able to see as Nolan gets older and progresses up his chain of evolution. Okay, so let's get going. So I'm going to talk over the music a bit. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to hold the babies towards us like this. We're going to get the music going. So this is about core training. It's going to get the baby's body strong and reacting to kind of things like gravity and movement. So I'm going to hold my baby, and the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go around in a circle. So the first way, I'm going to shuffle heel to heel, and that kind of creates a wave for the baby. All right, so we're going to go around the circle. Lots of smiling and laughing, and we're going to hold the baby, switch directions. And then we start to dance, and I'm singing like, very good. This time, we're going to turn the baby around so they can see the world. You can either hold like this or like this, and we're going to do a trot. So now the baby should be kind of bouncing around a little bit, and you can kiss the back of their neck and tickle them, and we're going to go the other way. So lots of moving. The baby, we don't want to shake the baby, obviously, but we want the baby to react to movement and try and kind of hold their balance. Very, very good. Now we're going to take the baby and put them into Superman mode. All right, and we're going to down and up with the baby. So again, lying on their tummy forces them to work a lot of their back muscles. Good, and now we're gonna flip them over onto their back so they're looking up at the sky, like rocking position. And we're gonna go around in a circle this way. Lots of swinging. Very good. One more time, we're gonna flip them over. This time, our Superman, we're gonna go backwards. So our feet gonna go first. Very good. We're gonna hold the baby up in the air. We're gonna give the baby a big hug. And parents, you don't have to really let them go unless you're comfortable, but throwing the baby, not throwing them high, but throwing the baby is also a great way to get them excited and motivated and stimulated and feeling all kinds of things that they don't normally feel. So you're just going to use your legs, not your back, and start to let the baby go up in the air. Woo! What a good froggy. And if you have, and you're ready, you can actually let the baby go a little bit. Up. Very good. Okay. We are going to turn the music down or off. DJ Dan. And there is our warm-up. So that warm-up lets the baby's body kind of do all kinds of things and get ready for the demands of what we're going to put them through. One thing you're going to need is hopefully close by is a couple of things that the babies are going to like. And we'll use some of those toys, AKA bait, phones, toilet paper rolls, anything that would catch the baby's attention. It may be something they know they like, or maybe something new that will introduce them. But we need to get about 5 or 6 different things for a little bit later. One thing that your babies have that some of you may or may not know is called a parachute reflex, and these are instincts in the baby, and they will eventually come out if they haven't come out yet. And these are all to protect them from different phases of development. What I mean by that, if you were to take your baby like this, and you were to make your baby think that they're about to fall down on the floor, once they get to a certain age, they will start to exhibit their parachute reflex. Their hands should come out like Superman and stop them from falling. It may not look so much like this right away. It may look like their hands come up. They may not do anything. That's okay, but it's something that we should start to cue. So what I do is I take the baby like this, and I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, and I make them feel like they're falling down. Now, obviously, I want to stop them far away from the floor. If they don't believe that they're falling, the reflex doesn't come out. So I have to make them go a little bit faster than normal. All right, so let's try a couple of front baby reflexes. Ready? Baby parachute reflexes. Ready? 1, 2, 3, and you should see as they're falling, their hands come out to kind of stop their face from hitting the ground. So let's try that 2 or 3 times with the babies. If the babies don't have this parachute reflex yet, it's okay. It'll be interesting for you over the next few weeks to see if and when they do come out. If the parachute reflexes are already there, then you can just nurture them, because these will come in handy, almost for the rest of their life. Think about when you fall. When you fall on your face, you put your hands down and you bring your head up. And that's pretty much what these guys are getting ready for, because soon they're going to be crawling and walking, and they're going to have to protect their faces. And so it's a pretty cool reflex that's built into us. So the next parachute reflex is we're going to sit down on the floor with the babies, and even if they can't hold their balance yet, it's okay. We want to make them think that they're tipping over to one side. And if they tip fast enough, their arms should post out to stop them. One of the problems with with helicopter parents is anytime the baby goes to fall, they catch them, and they actually stop the baby from doing their natural posts. So although I never want your baby to get hurt or to actually fall, they do have to experience. So what we're going to do here is we're not going to let the babies fall. We are going to push them off to the side and hopefully see that their hand will post. And then we can either put on some type of music if we're by ourselves. This is something you can do before bed, before nap, after nap, as part of getting them stimulated or putting them down. So I rock to one side, their hand should post. I rock to the other side and their hand should post. If it was me and I'm pretending I'm the baby, someone would push me to the side and I stop myself from falling over. Oh, I stopped myself from falling over. So we want to practice this a whole bunch of times, the side to side kind of rock. The first parachute reflex that your baby usually gets is the stopping themselves from doing exactly what my frog just did, head planting. And you guys know if you leave your baby for too soon and they don't have the strength or the reflex, they will just boom face. So we don't want that. We were going to start to do is we're going to try and start to push them towards the ground and see if they're going to push back against us. So we push against them and see if they'll push back against us. Push down and see if they'll push back against us. The last part of the parachute reflex is the back one. And this one's one of the last ones to come. What happens if I was to push you back? You would kick your feet up and try and regain your position by doing that. The babies will do the same thing. We obviously don't want them to fall on their backs or risk smacking their head. So we stay really, really close to them. So I stay here and I have maybe a couple inches between my tummy and their head. And I'm going to put my hands on their shoulders and just pull them back and see if they will kick themselves forward or if they have that reflex where they reach their hands forward and pick their feet up to counterbalance. So let's try that a couple of times. Very good, Mr. Froggy. Very good, Mr. Froggy. Very good. So now, parents, you guys have the parachute reflex. We have all four directions and the Superman. So side, side, forwards, back. You can do it with them this way as well. Just watch the back one and hold their hands again. Lots of, I call it guarding. You want to just guard the baby that they don't take any unnecessary spills or falls. And this is all learning for them. So, and hopefully learning for you. And again, a great way for you to spend good quality time with your baby and help them during their evolution to walking and running. So since we're down on the ground now, we're going to do something called some baby chin-ups. Now, baby chin-ups are pretty cool because the child should already have their pulling reflex. Now, what I do is I grab their, I'll show you the grip. So I hold and let them grab onto my thumb and I pinch the back of their hand. So they would grab around my thumb, all right? So that's the grip that I'm gonna use. I'm gonna hold like this and I start to pull their heads off the ground. And what I should see and feel is this from them. I don't want to feel jello. They should have that pull instinct. And once they pull, we would then pull them all the way up to sitting. Give them a big round of applause. They did a good job, Froggy. And we would slowly let them come back down. I have a special assistant. Jace, come on over here. My big baby boy. My 7-year-old baby boy. Lie down on your back. So I'm going to demonstrate with Jace. So Jace is going to hold my hand like this. I'm going to pull him up a little bit. He's going to pull to your bum, to sitting, to sitting. Ready? So we're going to pull to sitting. Very good. And now I'm slowly going to let Jace go down. Hang, 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 hang. Very good. Hang, hang, hang. And one more time. Ready? We're going to pull, pull, pull. Now bend your knees. And if they are strong enough, we can pull them all the way up to their feet and give them a little lift. Drop back down all the way to your bum and back down. Very good. Now, I'm sure parents, you're wondering, some of you may be wondering about dislocating your child's arm. The truth is, if they have that pull response, and we're doing the baby chin-up, baby pull-ups, and you feel that response, you will not dislocate their arms by lifting them up like this. You'll actually be strengthening them. If you think about some of the Russian videos out there of the kids and their parents, where the parents are literally swinging the babies around. It happened with my son when he was first born at a swim lesson. I was shocked. I thought for sure. But the truth is you won't. So you're okay to lift the baby if they're ready to all the way up off their feet just a little bit and see if they have that response. Amazing. Okay, so let's pick up the babies up. We are going to have a little dance party and reset. So for dance party, we're going to put the music back on and we'll put the music back on or turn it up. Hope you guys are having a good time. Hope the babies are having a good time. Give your baby a hug and kiss. Oh, another favorite song. So this literally take 20, 30, 40 seconds and just shake it out. Dance with the baby. You can dance with the baby this way. We can put the baby on their feet. We can put the baby on our feet. Whichever way you want. Jace, come on over here. I don't want to dance with a frog. Oh, my big baby boy. Oh, my big baby boy. And if they're big like this, you can throw them over your shoulder like this and give them a spanking. All right, 20 more seconds. We'll keep going. Let's spin them around and see if we can make them throw up. No, not with you guys. Just when they get this age. All right, thank you, buddy. For me, dance, for me, dance, for me. Oh. I've never seen. Okay. Okay. Amazing. Hope you guys are enjoying this so far and learning a couple of things. Taking a quick moment or two out to reset the game is super important with kids this age because obviously their attention spans are pretty low. Their attention spans don't last very, very long. And sorry, I just drew a blank because my kids are messing around in the back and distracting me. So I'm just going to just tell them to stop. Boys, enough. Thank you. That's what you have to look forward to. So what was I talking about? Oh yeah, resetting the game. So just like my attention span is pretty short. So reset the game, get the babies refocused, and now we are going to start to encourage movement. So depending on where your babies are in the grand scheme of things, whether they're starting to roll or not, I'm going to start all the way as if they're just starting to roll. So we have some babies that just don't want to roll yet, even though they have all the strength in the world to do so. I'm telling you, it comes down to motivation. It's not because they're slow or fast or they don't care. Well, you know what it is? It's because they don't care. It's right now they need the motivation that is going to cue them to want to do. So if the baby's happy on their back and they have no reason to turn over, they're going to stay there up to a certain point. So if you are going to start to train the baby to turn, the first thing we have to do is we have to move the arm out of the way. So I pull the arm up on the side that we're going to be turning the baby. And then I would pull over like this. And the baby can get there. Same thing on the way back. I would move the arm out of the way, up towards the pointed up. And I would pull and roll. So in essence, if it's me and I'm the baby, I can't roll over my arm. My arm blocks me, right? So I need to teach the baby to clear the arm to start. And then we can start to roll over. And the same thing on the way back. I would clear the arm and roll the baby over. So sometimes the babies are going to take it and sometimes the babies aren't. So let's try and practice some rolling on both sides, front to back for a few minutes. Arm up and roll the baby over. Very good. Now, what we can do to help stimulate and encourage the baby is get a whole bunch of different things. I have all kinds of different things. I have a shiny hat. I have one of these things. Don't get these. These are the worst. These start going off at like 5 in the morning. And some bubbles, whatever. And we put them in the baby's eye line, so they can see. And hopefully that gives them a little bit of a reason to want to use their muscles and flip over. So grab some bait and put the bait on either side of the baby and practice turning. If your baby is past this and they're doing some tummy time and pushing up, we still want to practice the rolling because the rolling is like doing sit-ups. It really helps build the core and build their muscles and helps get those muscles ready for the next phase, which is crawling. So if your baby, so those of you who have babies that aren't rolling, practice the rolling. Those of you who have babies that are doing lots of this and lots of this, we're going to start to do something called pit bulling. Jace, come on over here. So babies have to learn how to tuck their bums in and get into this position. So what we're going to do, Jace, come lie down. So Jason's going to lie down. He's nice and strong now. He's got a good push, just like if your baby does. Good. You're going to go onto your arms like this. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the baby's hips and I'm gonna tuck them in like this. So I lift his hip up and I tuck them in and I let him sit like this. Now, a lot of the times the baby's gonna start to rock back and forth and then explode on their face and fall. This is okay. We wanna make sure that we're doing this on something nice and soft. So again, Jace, going to lie down flat. Good. So my baby is now starting to push himself up. He's got a good push on his tummy time. So here I know that I want you to push down into your arms. Good. And I'm going to, again, lift and turn and tuck in. So he's literally in this position. I can get his arms. And we just want to let him bounce up and down a little bit. Good. Very good. And that's it. So that's the second phase for babies that are kind of in that, I get them into that pit bull position where they're ready to, the next thing they have to do is up. I take a step and I catch myself. My parachute reflex comes in. Up, I catch myself, and before you know it, they are crawling. Usually between the rolling and the crawling is the commando. So if they're commandoing, you can put some things in front and see if we can get them to commando. And as soon as they get close, we'll move it and get them to commando. And then when they get it, big round of applause. So I'm going to give you guys 30 seconds to just practice whatever phase or all the phases. So we have the baby roll, moving the arm out of the way. We have the babies that are able to get into this position where we're going to lift and tuck and see if they'll start to rock and eventually up. And any of the babies that are commando crawling, let's put some bait around and see if they'll get the bait. All right. See how that goes. I'll be back in a second. Good stuff. Okay. I hope you guys are enjoying it. So after the babies have kind of moved around, I'm going to show you guys the clock of movement. So what I do, regardless of what stage the baby's at, is I set up a whole bunch of things like a clock. And this kind of helps me establish what is a good motivator or what's good bait for the day. So it's like I would put a whole bunch of things at the different times. Then I'm going to lie the baby on the stomach and start to bring attention to all the things. Oh, look at the hat. And we'll see if the baby can turn this way. And if it likes the hat, we'll start to work with the hat. And then we can make a noise over here. And so we're trying to influence and stimulate the baby to move and use all their muscles. Because right now, in order to get to the next phases of development, they need to have the muscular support. There's some babies that fast track and don't spend too much time crawling. I think it's important to spend time in all the phases. It's not like I'm trying to get you guys to rush the babies through the phases. We just want to nurture the stages and the phases because that's what prepares the child for the next phase. They need to spend time on the tummy to build their backs. They need to build their arms because that's what they need when they have to crawl. So all this stuff I've been doing for a long time. I had my own babies to go through and then a whole bunch of other babies to go through. And I've now watched and seen how this stuff manifests down the road with babies that are now, toddlers and toddlers that are now kids. So I hope that you guys continue to use some of the stuff that you learned today and apply it throughout the child's development because it really does help and it's fun to watch. So let's get that baby down. You can do the clock of movement from their backs, where they would have to look and start to see and roll. And then you can remind them how to roll by lifting their arms if they find something they like. And then if they have something they like, you can use that for bait for usually the rest of the day or part of it. Kids' motivation changes as fast as we change their diapers. One morning, it could be the phone that gets them to do something. The next, it could be a speck of dust on the floor that they've fixated on and everything in between. So we never know. Yeah, some kids have a favorite thing, a favorite stuffed animal. We can always go to that to help use as bait. Or we test out all the different things and find the flavor of the day, for no better term. It makes parenting fun and challenging and really gives you a better understanding of of your child and their life. So I really love working with kids this stage because things happen so fast. So I hope you guys, let's spend a minute or two working on the circle of movement. All right, so get your things set up. Oh, I have some questions. Yeah. From tummy to back. Okay. So you'll have to help coach until they get it. So if they're on their tummy like this, we have to move the arm out of the way, because again, if my arm's here and they try and roll, it becomes a block. So 1, the arm comes out of the way, and 2, I'm going to grab the shoulder and I'm going to pull the shoulder on this side. I can also take their leg and bring it over, which gives some weight and it gets them to kind of flop. So there's a difference between, the control and the flop, and we've got to just help them flop for now. If they have a side that they prefer, work on that side to start so they get the movement down, and then you can start to introduce the other side to kind of balance it out. But again, the most important thing is that we clear the arm. You can use some type of bait to get their attention and bring it over their head to see if they can roll. And then it's just a matter of exposure, doing it over and over and over. Now that brings me to the point of crying. If I was with you guys live, and those of you who have worked with me live, you know that I'm very hands-on. Some of the babies like me right away. Some of the babies don't, and they'll cry. Sometimes I'll do something with the baby and they'll cry. There's a big difference. There's a big difference between, oh, I lost the headphone. There's a big difference between, hold on, where was I? Oh yeah, there's a big difference between crying from pain and crying from not being able to express yourself. And at this stage, the babies can't express themselves other than crying. So the last thing I ever want to do, or you to do, is hurt the baby. But if it's experienced crying and they're just trying to say like, hey, this is new for me and I don't really like this, and I don't like this redheaded guy poking me around or moving me, that's okay. From now until the rest of your lives, our jobs as parents is to force them out of their comfort zone. It's the only way that we can evolve and strive. And the situation that we're in now is a perfect example. We're all out of our comfort zones, and we have to find a way to strive and survive, right? And babies need the same thing. So we have to push them outside of their comfort zones. And if they're reluctant or hesitant to do something, it's usually and some crying comes out. It's not because we're hurting them. This is when you have to be a parent and push them through and let them experience some of the things they may not want to experience. Amazing. So rolling, parachute reflexes. Another awesome thing that I love to do with them is working with gravity. So I don't know if you've seen when you're in your car at a stop sign and then you accelerate and you see the back window. Some babies, when you accelerate fast, they're like this, like pinned to the seat, like, oh my God, what's that feeling? And other babies giggle. And like if you imagine yourself on a roller coaster, it's the same feeling. Spatial awareness is a big part of a baby's world, knowing where they are in the world. And that comes in even more handy when they're starting to walk and move and cruise, so that they're not just blind smashing into things. They have to know where they are in the world. And things like I'm about to do now are great ways for bonding and great ways for working on that. I'm going to use my buddy, the potato, for this. Potato, come here. I'm going to hold you. Come. So when I spin the baby, I want to make sure that his head or her head is not going to fly away. So I put one hand on the head. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to and spin around. And then I'm going to go the other way. And now check your baby's face out. They're either going to have the look of death on them or they're going to giggle. But that's that feeling, that tickly feeling inside them by creating G-forces. So I want you can't really go slow. You're not going to create that force. I'm going to spin around. And you can see Kate holds on really, really tight. Ready? And all right. So let's practice spinning it a couple of times and creating that feeling for the babies. Again, we want to have our hand kind of like this behind them so that the centrifugal force doesn't force their head to go back. I keep my hand here, and you can actually look at them in the eyes and see their facial reaction. So try that a couple of times. Make sure there's space around you. Make sure you don't get dizzy and black out. And that's it. So let's try a couple of times. Who? Leo's giggling? Right, exactly. And some of them are going to be like this, like, what the heck was that? Let me just check my phone. Okay. It's important to have fun with the child. And, making this type of, these type of drills fun and incorporated into their everyday. I'm a big advocate on throwing and catching and moving and swinging. It helps everything. It helps the babies react. It helps their core. It helps their muscles. It helps their sensory. It helps their spatial awareness. And it's fun for us, and we get a little bit of a workout too. So I'm going to do one more thing. This is for the parents. We'll do some different phases, but this is for the parents that are a little more ballsy. I don't know what the word is. Brave, I guess. So, Kato, come on over here. So this is called the catapult. And those of you who have been with me have done it before. I'm gonna show you this way first. So the baby is going to sit on my feet. Face the computer, Kato, and sit your bum down here. All right. I have to create a seat belt. So I put my thumbs together over here. Now I can grab onto his arms. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pull him up, and I kick my feet over, and Kato's gonna land on his feet. Very good. Come back around. So I'm gonna show you that one more time this way. And if you're not ready to go all the way over, you can just go onto your back. So from here, I have my hands. I kick up. Ready? I'm gonna kick you really fast, and we're gonna flip over. 1, 2, 3, hop. Very good. Now, obviously, with you guys, you don't let go of the baby. You're gonna hold the baby here, and you can bring them back over to you. I'm gonna show you sideways. Come take a seat. So if my hands are in the right way, like this, thumbs together, I have the seat belt. I pull him up. I roll when I kick my feet up. Look, he falls right into my hands. I have full control here. I can hold him this way, and then I can put him back. Whoop. Ready? Oh, whoop. And then obviously stand up for me. There's lots of fun things we can do with them this way as well, either on our knees or on our feet, depending on what age. And you can hear the giggles. It doesn't matter what age. It's still lots of fun and lots of bonding time. So let's do a quick review. Okay, Kato. If I push Kato forwards, he's going to stop himself from falling on his face. Good. Parachute reflex. If I push him to the side, parachute reflex to the side. And here's the one. If I pull him back, we're not going to let him fall. Keep your hands up. Try and lift your feet to stop you. Ready? Very good. Now, Superman parachute reflex. This is for when they're starting to crawl. Sorry, when they're starting to cruise. Ready? If I make Cade think that he's going to fall on the ground. See how his hands come straight out to protect his face? Still there. We have, come on over here. Lie down on your back. Baby chin-ups. Hold on to my thumb to sitting. Oh, very good. And then we pull them up to standing and then into the air and back down. All the way to your bum. And all the way to your back. Very good. Baby rolling. Arms up. Roll him over. You got to keep your arm up in the air. And roll him over. Very good. And let's roll him back this way. Very good. The circle of toys. Oh, also, bubbles are a great way to end the class. Hopefully you have bubbles. If not, there's some DIY bubbles you can make at home and use straws. Now you can, again, the babies can be lying on the back. Lie on your back, kid. Lie down, lie on your back. Lie on your back. And the baby's going to look at and pop the bubbles with their feet, with their hands. with their noses. Very good. So that gives you guys a whole bunch of stuff to work on for the next little while. And again, you can always go back to this video, which is on our Rec Room YouTube channel, and refer to it. You can do it as a class, one thing after the other, or you can do it in components throughout the day. I love doing the parachute reflex stuff just before bed or just after they wake up. It's a great way to set the tone and a great way to let them go to sleep, and sleep is what helps build patterns. And if they start to learn the patterns just before bed, hopefully those patterns kind of ingrain and they come out at a future date. So I hope that you enjoyed this even more during the next month or so as we all come together and work together to get through this next phase. On one hand, it's a pretty crazy time. On the other hand, what an awesome opportunity for you guys to really get to spend time with your little ones and really help them get through the next phases of their life. So I'm here to help you guys. You guys are there to help your babies. We're gonna get through this all together. One love to everybody, and I will see you soon.